You know, most thrillers kick off with a huge explosion or some wild car chase. But this story, this explainer, it all begins with a number. A single, tiny, almost impossible number buried deep inside the NSA. We're diving into The President's Cipher, a story that pulls back the curtain on a massive 80-year-long conspiracy designed to control American democracy from the shadows. And believe me, it makes you question everything you think you know about authority in our digital world.
So, here's the question that really kicks this whole thing off, and it's straight from the book's preface. Think about it. What if authority itself could be forged, and no one would know? I mean, we all trust the systems, right? We trust that a digital signature is real, that an official order is legit. But what happens if that very trust, the thing our entire society is built on, is actually the weapon being used against us?
Okay, so how does it all begin? Well, it starts with one guy. Meet Dr. Alex Navarro. He's a super brilliant cryptographic analyst over at the NSA. Now, don't picture some kind of James Bond character here. He's not a spy, not a field agent. He's a numbers guy, a mathematician. And for him, numbers are the only thing in the world that don't lie. So let's set the scene. It's almost midnight. Alex is deep inside a secure NSA lab, and everything is quiet. He's just doing his job, the same thing he does every night, running routine checks on the digital signatures of presidential executive orders. You know, it's a super important job, but it's also incredibly repetitive, just making sure that the orders that shape the entire country are actually legit. And when I say routine, I mean routine. He has done this exact verification 14,847 times in his career. Think about that. That's his entire world, a world built on perfect patterns and absolute mathematical certainty. Every single time, the result is the same. And out of all those checks, 14,846 of them came back as perfect bit-for-bit matches. See, in cryptography, there's no such thing as almost right. It's either a perfect match, 100%, or it's not. It's a forgery. For his entire career, the system has been flawless, perfect. Until tonight. Because tonight, just one, is different. One single signature out of almost 15,000 fails the check. Now, for most people, you'd probably just write that off, right? A glitch, a random error. But Alex, well, in his world, there's no such thing as a random error. And the difference? It's almost nothing. We're talking 0.003%. It's so tiny that the automated systems are designed to just ignore it, to write it off as an acceptable error margin. But Alex knows that pure math doesn't have an error margin. A discrepancy this small, this precise, it shouldn't even be possible. This isn't a mistake. It feels intentional. It feels like a message. And just like that, this little math problem is about to turn into a full-blown life-or-death crisis, because the second Alex starts digging into this anomaly, the system starts to notice him. So his brain just clicks into gear. He runs through the checklist, right? Could it be a computational error? Nope. The systems have way too much redundancy for that. What about data corruption during transmission? Impossible. The error correction protocols would have caught it. So you eliminate the impossible, and whatever's left, no matter how scary, has to be the truth. Someone altered this signature on purpose. And then, things get really creepy. He gets that feeling, you know? The one where the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. He looks up, and a security camera in the corner of the lab, it pivots. It turns to point directly at him. He quickly checks the surveillance logs. Nothing. No record of the camera moving. The logs were wiped in real time. He realizes he's not the one doing the watching anymore. He's the one being watched. Okay, so now the clock is ticking. He quickly copies the anomalous data to a secure drive. He runs a search, and boom, he finds 47 other signatures with the exact same tiny error. And they're all linked to this mysterious file called Continuity Protocol. He tries to open it, access denied. And then a message pops up on his screen. Deputy Director Chen is waiting. The walls are closing in and fast. He knows, right then and there, that walking into that meeting is a one-way trip. It's a trap. So he makes a choice that will change his entire life. He doesn't go to the meeting. He doesn't follow orders. He runs. He just walks right out of that building, a fugitive from the most powerful intelligence agency on the planet, with nothing but that drive in his pocket. He just crossed a line he can never, ever uncross. So now he's on the run, he's a ghost, and he needs help. He needs someone he can trust, someone completely outside the system.
That leads him to Dr. Sarah Yates, a historian at the National Archives. And this is where his tiny digital puzzle piece suddenly clicks into a much, much bigger and darker historical picture.
Alex lays out everything he's found, this crazy story about a forged signature. And Sarah's reaction, it's not disbelief. It's something far worse. She looks him in the eye and says, "My husband died investigating it." Just like that, this whole thing goes from being about data and algorithms to being about a real-world conspiracy, one that gets people killed.
And she has proof. She takes him deep into the archives and shows him this thing didn't start last week. It started all the way back in 1947 with a forged directive under President Truman creating some kind of national emergency authority. Then in the 60s, more forgeries pop up to authorize illegal surveillance. In the 80s, they're used to hide black ops like Iran-Contra. And then, after 9/11, in 2003, the whole operation goes from paper to digital. Alex didn't find the start of something new. He found the latest version of a shadow government that's been running for almost 80 years.
So you have to be asking, how? How does this secret government operate for decades without anyone knowing? Well, it's all thanks to an incredible piece of technology, a tool called the President's Cipher. It is the very architecture of this whole deception.
Okay, so who's behind the curtain? They call themselves the Continuity Council. Picture a secret club of very powerful, totally unelected officials who've decided they know what's best for the country, better than anyone else. And here's the kicker. The group is self-perpetuating. They pick their own successors, passing the power down through the generations completely outside of any democratic oversight. And what gives them their power? The President's Cipher. Now, this isn't a code you can crack. It's something much cleverer. It's a secret backdoor built right into the official authentication system. It's like having a master key that lets the council forge presidential orders that look, for all intents and purposes, 100% real. So here's how it works, and it's brilliant in a really terrifying way. A legitimate, authentic presidential order is mathematically perfect. It has zero cryptographic variance. But an order created by the council using the cipher, it has that tiny 0.003% variance that Alex discovered. It's not an error at all. It's their secret handshake. It's a hidden signature that tells other members, this one's ours, while looking like a tiny, ignorable glitch to the rest of the world. And this is the absolute gut punch. The system isn't broken. The security protocols didn't fail. The system is working exactly as it was designed to. The very software that's supposed to detect forgeries was intentionally built to accept these specific forgeries. The watchdog, the security system, it was part of the conspiracy from day one. So this brings us to the really heavy part. Alex and Sarah, they know everything now. They see the whole picture. But knowing a secret this big comes with a price, an unbelievable, terrifying price. For them, for the country, there's just no going back to the way things were. Remember what Alex's boss was about to tell him? You can almost hear the words now. You've just made yourself the most dangerous person in this building. Because by stumbling onto this truth, he didn't just find a secret. He made himself a target, the #1 threat to the most powerful, hidden group in the country. So just think about the stakes here. You've got two fugitives, a numbers guy and a historian, up against a shadow government that has literally limitless resources. They are hunted by an organization that controls everything. And what's their weapon? A mathematical equation on a hard drive. That's it. And they're holding a truth so big, so devastating, that revealing it could shatter the entire nation's trust in its own government. And that's where the story leaves us, with this huge, haunting question. It's the same one Alex and Sarah have to face. So I'll ask you, in a world that runs on trust, what do you do when you find out it's all been a carefully constructed lie?